U.S. President Barack Obama has addressed the General Assembly at the United Nations. In his last speech at the Assembly as U.S. President, he called for a more integrated world.
And so I believe that at this moment, we all face a choice. We can choose to press forward with a better model of cooperation and integration, or we can retreat into a world sharply divided and ultimately in conflict along age-old lines of nation and tribe and race and religion. I want to suggest to you today that we must go forward and not backward.
Well, let's now return to Liling Tang in New York and get more details on the UN General Assembly. Liling, the UN General Assembly is now in full gear. What are the key highlights from the sessions today?
That's right. We've already heard from some world leaders, a handful of world leaders on the first of several days of very high-profile speeches as part of what's known as the General Assembly high-level debates. Now, earlier we've heard from the President of Chad. We've heard from also President Barack Obama here at the U.S. Just from seconds ago. Now, the U.S. is always second to speak because it's the host country of the General Assembly, and it always follows Brazil. And we earlier heard President Michel Temer kick off these debates. Now, over the course of the day, we'll be hearing a total of 34 world leaders addressing the 193 member nations who are now at the General Assembly Hall. They will take the stage and speak on a broad range of issues, from terrorism to humanitarian crises to the refugee crisis, as well as on poverty, aid for development, and of course also climate change. Now, but what's already overshadowing these high-profile speeches, however, is the latest developments from Syria. Behind the scenes, there are a lot of discussions going on about the developments there, the attack on the aid convoy to Aleppo, as well as the question of whether the ceasefire that was only 1 week old before it crumbled can be salvaged, or if it is damaged beyond repair. So for the rest of this session, we'll have more speeches from world leaders, but a lot of the attention will also be on Syria.
Well, Liling, Malawi's President Peter Mutharika is currently addressing the Assembly. What is the Africa focus, though, during this session?
Well, there has always been a lot of focus on Africa, on providing development, assistance, aid, on the challenges faced by the continent. And we heard that underscored by the president of Chad, Idriss Déby Itno, earlier this session, in which he talked about, he stressed or he underscored the challenges faced by African nations from Somalia to Libya, Mali to the Lake Chad Basin and the Sahel region. In particular, he cited Libya and South Sudan as countries that need more mobilization from the international community in cooperation with regional agencies to help address those issues. And he also welcomed the United Nations and African Union's plan to deploy 4,000 more troops to South Sudan. And over the course of the next few hours, we'll also be hearing from several other African states. We'll be hearing from Tunisia, South Africa, Egypt, Nigeria, Uganda, Zambia, and Senegal. So the bulk of the African nations will be speaking in the afternoon session here in New York.
Liling Tang for us there in New York. Thank you.